Good evening, children. It's me, Appalonia. I hope you enjoyed your weekend. This Sunday's story is entitled Joseph and His Dreams. Joseph was just 17. He felt like the king of the world. Listen to this, he said to his brothers. I had a marvelous dream. We were all harvesting wheat and tying it into sheaves. Then my sheaf stood up straight, and all your sheaves came and bowed down to it. Do you know what I think this means? If you think we're going to do that to you, sneered his brothers, you have another thing coming. We're older than you. Later, Joseph had another dream. This one was really good, he boasted. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars came and bowed down to me. I think that's a special sign. It certainly is, muttered his brothers. It's a special sign of how arrogant you really are. Even Joseph's doting father Jacob was not pleased. Don't you dare say things like that, he warned. Stop dreaming and wake up to real life. Joseph swaggered around anyway. After all, Jacob had given him a special coat, the special robe a father gives to a son who is going to be the next head of the family. Because he thinks I'm the best, he said to himself, and I am. So, in a way, Joseph was partly to blame for what happened next. And this is what happened next. The brothers had taken the flocks to a pasture far away. Jacob sent Joseph to check what everything was okay and all right with them. Oh, look who's coming, they said. All alone, we can get rid of him. When Joseph drew close, they grabbed him, ripped off his coat, and threw him down a dried-up well. They laughed and joked among themselves as he lay there, parched with thirst. As they laughed, they saw a line of laden camels striding through the desert. Merchants, they exclaimed. We can sell Joseph. He'd fetch a good price as a slave. They pulled their brother out of the well and handed him over. When they finally returned home, they told Jacob that Joseph was missing, probably killed by animals. They'd lied, trying to look sad. In faraway Egypt, Joseph was sold to a wealthy man. He worked as hard as he could, but the man's wife accused him of wrongdoing. Because of her lies, Joseph was flung into jail. The prisoners had little to talk about except their dreams. They liked Joseph because he was able to explain it to them. He told one man he was going to be set free, and he was. He warned another that he was going to be punished, and he was. The one who was set free was delighted, but he forgot all about Joseph. Then one day the great king of Egypt had two very puzzling dreams. There is someone in your jail who could explain, the man whispered to the king. Hurriedly, Joseph was fetched out of jail, given a good wash, and brought to the palace. O king, he explained, you dreamed of 7 fat cows who were eaten by 7 thin cows, then of 7 full ears of corn that were eaten by 7 thin ears of corn. The 2 dreams mean the same thing. There will be 7 years of good harvest, then 7 years of famine. You must find someone to take charge of storing food from the 7 good years to last through the 7 bad years. I choose you, said the king. Joseph became the second most important person in all of Egypt. 7 years went by, and Joseph made sure lots of grain was put safely into huge barns. Then all over the world the harvests failed. When Joseph's family heard there was food for sale in Egypt, his brothers came to buy some. They were brought to Joseph and they bowed low to the ground. They thought he was an Egyptian prince. Joseph recognized them at once. Could he trust them? Should he forgive them? And most of all, where was his brother Benjamin? He asked them many questions, and when they found out that Benjamin was still alive, he demanded that they go and fetch him. When at last they returned, Joseph welcomed them. "Take plenty of grain," he said, "sacks and sacks of it." Secretly, he told servants to hide a silver cup among Benjamin's sack of grain. Then he accused him of being a thief. "You must let him go," pleaded the brothers. "Our father would die of sorrow. He has already lost one of his sons. Punish one of us instead." I think that's them beginning to feel guilty of what they'd done to Joseph. Joseph wept. He knew they were sorry for what they had done so many years before, and he was ready to forgive them. Then he told them who he was and invited the family to Egypt. "God sent me here long ago so that I can help you be safe now," he exclaimed. It was like a dream come true. So in the end, his family came over to live in Egypt with him and his family. Hope you have a lovely evening and have a good week next week. Good night from me, Appalonia.
All books read by Appalonia The Storyteller are now available on No Ordinary Bookshop website on www.noordinarybookshop.co.uk. See you there!